Ronda Rousey is writing a book. And since she is apparently done with the WWE and doesn't need them anymore, she is openly criticizing them, including what she calls the casting couch culture, as far as how the WWE treats women. It's her new book, Our Fight. So WWE Dirty Laundry, it doesn't like it's going away. She noted there were so many scandals that it was hard to keep track. And a hat tip also to not only WrestleZone, but to Inside the Ropes here. The truth is, women have largely been footnotes until very recently. You know, Ronda Rousey's been around for 5 or so years there. Over time, as the level of female talent has grown and society as a whole has started to shift, the organization gradually expanded the role of female wrestlers. But there was, in the past, a casting couch culture where men backstage in powerful positions pressured female talent for sexual favors in return for airtime. There were so many public accusations and scandals, it's hard to keep track. And more than I'm sure WWE managed to sweep under the rug. Not a good look for WWE. At this point, everybody knows the Vince McMahon connections to this. This only becomes a bigger story if it turns out that there were many, many more people involved.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's not hard to believe, right? If it's already happening at the top, that like stuff like this would just be kind of normal to trickle down. And
yes. And other wrestling insiders have talked about this. Like, I've heard Jim Cornette talk about this, that for a long time the female wrestlers were just, you know, eye candy for the TV shows and some of the house shows, and kind of comfort for the boys on the road.
Yeah,
there was a bigger house show schedule. So it's not news. It may be unseemly for someone who's as big a name as Ronda Rousey to do it. But women weren't just being demeaned backstage, but center stage up until 2007, bra and panties matches. So I wonder how many of the recent WWE fans who've only seen maybe the great women wrestling in the past couple of years are unaware that it was not so long ago that WWE was a very different product in how it not only presented women wrestlers, but also treated them as employees. You and I are aware of it, but I wonder how many newer fans are. If you are a newer fan, tell us in the comments.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. And I think the other thing about this that I wanted to talk about, like with Ronda Rousey here, is, usually you have all these old washed up wrestlers doing these shoot interviews and writing these books where they're trashing everyone. So good for her for jumping on board when she's done and retired to just go ahead and bury the glass companies she worked for and just destroy them, right?
If she doesn't need WWE, why not tell it now while you're still fresh in people's minds? She writes this 20 years from now, she's probably not going to be as big a name as if she writes it now.
She could be a good person by like whistleblowing on them, which you should do for stuff like this. And then in addition to that, hey, she's already wrestled for AEW once, so if she really needs it, maybe she'll go back to Tony Khan. I don't know. Right?
Was it a dark match? It wasn't part of the televised something, but she's there, so maybe, she winds up somewhere else.
She was just in the area, and they're like, I think she might have contacted Tony, or Tony contacted her. She's like, yeah, sure, I'll come wrestle. Why not?